This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. Eesh. Yeah, not too much of a mess today. I'm with that. I'm with that, man. I'm with that. I'm with that all the way. Shout out to Total Wine again. Always hooking me up with all these beers you hear, see, and the beer of the episode today brought to you by Boulevard Brewing. Tank 7, an American Saison. I really like these cans, and yeah. So, all right. So we've been having a lot of social media craze about NCAA 25. So it made me think it is time for far too early NCAA college football rankings. So guess what? That's what we're going to do today. But first, news you can booze to. WNBA All-Stars beat the USA women's national team. It's all fun and games, you know. People are kind of blowing this out of proportion. Reese went off. I think she had another double-double. I mean, what else is new, right? But she didn't win MVP. Arike Ogunbowale, I hope I said that right because I've been trying to practice, not going to lie. She won MVP again. She had 34 points, and that is back-to-back for her. That is back-to-back for her. She had like 0 points in the first half, too, which is insane. So, yeah. Moving along. Training camp has started for the NFL. Pretty much every team has reported. Key holdouts or key not show up or key absences, if you will. CeeDee Lamb, he said, fuck y'all, I ain't showing up till I get that contract. Brandon Ayuk at least showed up because he didn't want to get fined. I understand. You know why I'm here. But he's not playing. He's not practicing. He's not part of the team. He's sitting on the sideline watching everybody play. But there's a surprise. Trent Williams is also there, and he's also not playing and doing a holdout as well. What the fuck? So most of these things will be ironed out before the end of training camp. Let me not forget, let me not graze over my guy. Jordan Love is also at camp, but also not participating because he wants an extension. And the Packers agree. We're going to get you an extension. It'll probably help us free up some of the money and this, that, and the third. Not like they're spending a shit ton of money anyway, but still, it'll help them move some money on the books and things like that. So they're working it out, but his agent has advised him not to practice. He's at camp, but he is not practicing with the team until it gets ironed out. I don't understand why it's taking so long if they both agree that they should go ahead and pay him. Ayuk, I understand, as I get it, he wants to be paid like one of the top receivers, and San Francisco saying he ain't that. Trent, from what I understand, is just one surety. He just is on the last year of his contract or his guaranteed money, and now he's like, all right, well, load me back up, which I don't really, I don't really blame him. I'd be the same way. Give me the bag, you know what I'm saying? But somebody is at training camp, and somebody just doesn't really sound happy. I don't know. I mean, you be the judge. You be the judge of this.
Get all the drama out of the way, honestly, man. I was just, a lot of talks going back and forth with me and my agent. Obviously, there wasn't no moves being made upstairs, so pretty much knew this is what it was. And I was just like, I'm going to go ahead and just sign it and just kill all the noise and just get everybody off my back. So.
How much of a
Bruh, he looked like he just finished crying. Like he didn't want to be here. He is beyond frustrated. Burrow in his new haircut. Like he does not want to be there, and it is very apparent. And one more year, Bengals. Enjoy that man because he will be gone very soon. But that's just me talking. You ain't gotta listen to me. You can read the room. Now, Beer Goggles of the Week is going to go to, since we talk about college football, it's going to go to UCLA's football coach. First off, they had media days this past week or so. Everybody's been kind of, introducing their team, because the realignments, everybody's got to introduce them to their media, things like that, whatever, right? Well, Deshaun Foster, come on down for the Beer Goggles of the Week, sir. What the fuck?
Coach Foster, welcome to the Big Ten. We'll begin with your opening statement.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be a part of this great conference. Finally putting two great emblems together, UCLA and the Big Ten. We're a school that's won, 123 championships, so this fits us being right in this conference. Football-wise, we're just excited. I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. Any questions?
Yo, fam, what in the hell was that, my dude? What? You can't be serious, dog. Huh? Bruh. He may end up being on the hot seat for that. Like the man had to be high. Like he had to be drunk. He had to be high. He had to be something. He just didn't want to be there. Whatever. But your opening statement is about you and USC and glad to be. What? Man, I don't know, bro. Moving right along. That's pretty much the news you can boost to. Man, it's been a very, very light, news cycle. Actually, I take that back. NBA decided that TNT's bid is no longer they didn't match what Amazon is offering. Amazon, so this next basketball season will be the last season that we see the TNT crew for basketball. No more TNT with Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, we still gonna watch. So I just hope that Amazon does it right, though. Like Amazon, you're not gonna be able to get that chemistry, but you can at least make sure that we got some real, some heavy hitters on there or something like that, since y'all putting all that money up there. So, but yeah, there we are. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to these early college rankings. First off, you see the OU flag in the background. You see the OU hoodie. We here. I'm here. Unfortunately, I'm only doing the top 10. So OU didn't make it. I'm sorry. Sooners. I love the team just as much as you do, but we got some work to do. Shout out to Tennessee as well. They got some work to do, but they not far out the top 10. They almost made the top 10, matter of fact. I had them at 11, right? So Tennessee, OU, Notre Dame, maybe. Those three were in the mix for me as far as making noise and being in the top 10. But I just don't really. Notre Dame's biggest thing is all they have is secondary. I don't really. It's hit or miss with them. I don't really believe in them that much on the offensive side. So whatever. Anyway, that's not what y'all here for. Y'all here for the top 10. Top 10 and top 10 only because it is 25 ranks and it's only 10 teams that make it into the playoffs this next coming season. So everybody is hyped about this and ready to see what the 10 teams will be. So let me tell you what I think will happen. Obviously, these things change because this is college. It's so volatile. It doesn't matter, right? First up, we got Penn State. Ew. Running backs. They've shown flashes of greatness since 2022. 23 wasn't a great year, but 22, they had over 1,000-yard rusher and about 1,000-yard rusher at 860. Singleton had a little over 1,000 yards, and Allen had 860. They're in a tough-ass conference. Obviously, the Big Ten added some pieces with UCLA. God. But, they got to figure out how to score with these running backs. They got to figure out how to score against the big brothers in Michigan, Ohio State. But if they can get production from the running backs, they can definitely make the playoffs at the 10th spot, basically. That's why I have them at the 10th. They are the way they looked for the way they've the running backs. They've held everything together. It's just they need to get the production out of them. Number 9, Michigan. Jim Harbaugh's gone. They lost a lot, though. They lost a lot more than that. But they have good quarterbacks to choose from between Tuttle and Orji. Yes, that is his name, Orji. Not being funny. Tuttle is more of a pocket passing kind of deal, where Orji's a dual threat, can run as well as throw. So they need to figure that out first, right? They need to figure out who they're going to choose. They haven't told us who they've chosen yet. That'll be determining factor if they stick in the 9th place or they slide way back, because that defense, Jesus, all three levels are first-round talent. All 3 levels, from the secondary to the linebackers to the defensive line. They make the playoffs if they don't make the wrong choice at quarterback. Basically, their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games just off the rip, right? So that college is kind of crazy, but that defense is stacked. They didn't lose very much on the defensive side. They lost a lot on the offensive side, which they've got through the transfer portal, some of the stuff back, and things like that. This next one might surprise some people. They're not really being talked about a lot. Some people in the know, if you will, are talking about them. I watched some of the interviews and some of the, I went back and watched it. The Utah Utes are coming in at number 8. They're about to scare some people. They're about to make some people uncomfortable, because Utah is not. They're not a household name. Nobody even when it comes to college football, nobody even thinks about them, right? But they're in the Big 12 now, right? They no longer have Texas and OU to worry about. Cam Rising is a beast. He is a monster. He was hurt all last year due to knee surgery and things like that. But when he was healthy, he led them to back-to-back Pac-12 championships. And that's when they were in the Pac-12 with USC, the Oregons, everybody, right? And now, not so much. So their only competition that they get to beat up on is Kansas, TCU, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. It's not. It's kind of lined up for them to at least be in the Big 12 championship if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, they're a force to be fucking reckoned with. The Utah Utes, I got them at 8. They also got some receivers. They also got one from transfer portal out of USC, who apparently the spring game, he had I think Cam was 15 of 18. Which is a spring game, I get it, whatever the case may be. But out of the 15 passes that he completed, majority of them went to the USC receiver that just transferred over there. So they already are clicking, on the same page. Utah, watch Utah. I think Utah is going to be fun to watch. I think they're going to be a problem in the Big 12. I think that was a smart move for them to move into the Big 12. Number 7. Alabama Roll Tide, baby. They lost obviously, arguably the greatest college football coach of all time. You argue with your mama. And they lost a lot of players, but they were second in the amount of 5-star recruits behind Georgia. And their head coach is an offensive-minded guy, which we all know Saban on his way out really wasn't. He was a run first, things like that. He's going to help the receivers. I think that the offensive-mindedness of this coach, he's going to get them right as far as that goes. I want to say, they got a 5-star recruit, Ryan Williams, and they still have good running backs. They still got a good offensive line. They still got a good they didn't lose much. Like they lost one of arguably, like I said, the greatest coach of all time, but they didn't lose so much that they can't replenish as far as players go. They actually gained a couple players, but the reason I have them so low is because I don't really know the coach that well. He comes from a smaller school. We'll see. Number 6. This is where it gets kind of tough for me because Ole Miss. I know that sounds kind of crazy. They ain't been good since Eli and but man, weapons, and Lane Kiffin, he gonna use them a lot to score. He gonna use them a lot, and if you can't score with them, they will leave you in the dust quick. Receivers and their tight end, they're going to be a certified problem. They are going to be a problem. And if you can't keep up with them, like I said, they're going to leave you in the dust. This year, I think they can shock everybody and make a good run in the playoffs. I think the biggest thing for them is figuring out that defensive side. Like if their defense can stay, good enough, not even great, but just good enough, they really can make a big run. They really can make a run. They're almost like Utah. They kind of got the way paved for them. Obviously, Ole Miss is in the SEC, but they're on their out of conference schedule is a lot weaker. So I don't know. I just like Ole Miss. I like what they're building over there. Lane Kiffin. I like it. I ain't gonna lie. I like it. Number 5. And what inspired this beer, let me take a quick break. What inspired this beer was Boulevard Brewing, as y'all know from the AFC West division beer drinking. Boulevard is from Missouri. They are a good brewing company. Every beer I've tasted from them so far has been good. One of them is up here. This will also make the line. But yeah, they were really, really, it's a really good brewing company. They make a lot of funky cans. Like this one, it's called Tank 7. It's got magician stuff all on the side of it. It's got the Hypnotize. It's got the Boulevard with the tower cards. It's kind of dope. I ain't gonna lie. They get me with the cans. That's really how they get me every time. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a funky can. Fuck it. Let me try it. But number 5 is Mizzou. And I'm higher than everybody else on them. I know. But my reasoning is that they have arguably the best quarterback in the SEC, possibly in football, period. They also have Marcus Burden, the third, who is also one of the top wide receivers. And they are they give me this Oregon vibe. They give me this Oregon South vibe. They are very, very, very swag. They just on the field with so much confidence. They just got it. And I'm higher than most people on them because of some of the factors that I think Mizzou is kind of slept on, and I really think Brady Cook is absolutely slept on. People ain't even really, they talking about him, they're not even really talking about him like that, and it's kind of crazy because this dude is really, 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 really good. Really good. I also watched their spring tape. Obviously, I know it's a spring game, but man, they like, because I don't watch Mizzou games. I was like, all right. So, I mean, but that boy nice. That boy nice. Nice. So, I got Mizzou at number 5, and that is why I am drinking the beer, because that is the one that everybody's kind of got them at the. They actually have them in the top 10 on most lists, but they have them like 9 or 8 or 11, you know. So I got him higher because I really believe in that kid Brady Cook, and I really like the kid Marcus Burden the third. Like they just look look like they got it, man. They just Mizzou gonna put some Giants to sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, number 4. Oregon Ducks, man. Speaking of Oregon South, we got Oregon, the real Oregon. Will you please stand up? They are the flyest of them all, and have had the same coaching staff for 3 years. Same coaching staff, down to the defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, like everything is the same. Everything is the same. They've got another quarterback that's a super senior, like they had with Bo Nix. I think this is his 6th year, Dylan Gabriel. Man, that's crazy. 6 years in college is fucking insane. But hey, listen. You can do that, I guess. But they also got Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, and them boys gonna be a problem on the receiver end. Like they got a very solid defense too, and their wide receivers, like, man. So they got a very good setup for them to go be in that top 4. They were getting a lot of transfer to their school. Like the transfer portal kind of opened it up for people to switch, and boys were switching. Excuse me, boys were switching quick. So like Oregon, I feel like with the Nike, the Nike owner came out and said he's going to throw out as much money as he can in NIL deals because he wants to get a championship for Oregon, in the playoff era or whatever the case would be. And so they got a lot of transfers at their school, and we know why. I expect them to be good all year and make a hell of a run at the championship. I see will they win it? I don't know, but they just gonna be in that. They gonna be in a race. They definitely gonna be hard to stop too. All right, number 3. As you see, I am draped in the maroon, so this hurts my heart. Number 3 is Texas. God, that just sounds disgusting. Boo! Boo! Texas is number 3. They look good. The quarterback room is stout. They lost 2 of them, but they were like backup. So it really didn't. They one went to Duke, one went to Appalachian State. So that kind of tells you what kind of echelon they was in. Appalachian State, don't get me wrong, is aight. Duke is, they made a little bit of noise in football like 2 years ago maybe. But yeah, Ewers and Manning got some talent around them. They will be tested now that they're in the SEC, so I don't know how long they're going to stay at number 3 because they got some work to do on that schedule. Their schedule is really tough, but I do think they have an opportunity to prove it and get I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll also get to the point of playing for the SEC conference for the championship. For the SEC championship. I don't know if they're going to make it out the playoffs, but I think they will make the playoffs, unfortunately, for my, yeah, so they benefited from some transfers as well. Alabama, Clemson recruits, like, they look like they ready to, they look like they're ready to hold up a trophy. It's really hard for me. Oh, I need to get your shit together. All right. So I do think that they have a chance at making a run in the playoffs and actually holding up a trophy before OU, unfortunately. So, boo. All right, I had to get that out. Okay. Woosah. Woo-sa. All right, and number 2. So number 2 and number 1, I'm splitting hairs. Like, there's really no wrong answer for number 2 and number 1. You have to be kind of blind not to see who number 2 and number 1 is. Number 2 for me is Ohio State. I don't really see a weakness for them except for Ryan Day. Ryan Day, who can't beat Michigan. All that talk and everything, like his job is on the hot seat, all that stuff like that. But this could be the year. This could be the year. If he doesn't, I don't foresee him lasting very long in Ohio State. Michigan has been their kryptonite, and Michigan is still in the top 10. So it ain't like they no slouch now that they lost Jim Harbaugh. But I do think they got some great transfers in a crazy, shocking fucking move. They got Chip Kelly to come over and be the offensive coordinator. The fuck? How? Like, he had a whole coaching job at UCLA, but he decided to go. He said, "I'm gonna go with the real Big Ten, and I'm gonna go Ohio State." And as their offensive coordinator, he probably gonna have them like thumping. It's a great look for them. They're going to continue their dominance. Their running backs are top tier, top of the class. Both Henderson and the transfer from Ole Miss, Judkins, ran for 2,700 yards apiece in the last 2 years. 2,700 yards apiece. Let me bring that back. 2 years, 2,700 yards. That's insane. That is insane. And like that, and they both on the same team. So, like I said, I'm splitting hairs with this one because I don't know which kind of Chip Kelly we're gonna get. But I know Ryan, and I don't really trust Ryan Day on the big time because sometimes he flops, fucks up, whatever you want to say. But yeah, like that's crazy. They're running backs, man. So I do think Ohio State is gonna make a really good run if Ryan Day can get over his I don't know, if he can get over his Michigan fear or whatever. Like Kyrie in Boston, basically. Yeah, like he owes Michigan a favor or something. Last but not least, number one. Got number 1 as well in 5-star recruits. Number 1 in recruits, period, in 4-star recruits. And hell, they tied for like third or fourth in 3 stars. Like, Georgia is like starting to become the new Alabama. They lost a lot of players to the NFL draft. I mean, let's just be real. They lost a lot of players to the draft. But they replenished transfer portal, recruits. I mean, it's just like they just got strong again. That front 7 is crazy again. Brinson, Stackhouse, Williams, and on and on and on. They are insanely stacked at linebacker and defensive line. And their quarterback, Beck, is back, and he threw for 3,900 yards last season. Also, they got a transfer from Florida at Mr. Etienne, who averaged about 5.9 or 6 yards a carry at Florida. Now, with one of the best offensive lines in the country, he gets to run behind them. Like, they just seem like, and he's a workhorse. He's not I watched their spring game. He catches the ball out the backfield. He runs that's crazy. I don't see them going undefeated like they did, because they were 42-2 in the last 3 years. They only lost 2 games. 2 games in 3 years is fucking crazy. But this season they're gonna have some tough fights. They're gonna have You know, I think they got to play Clemson off top. They got to play. They're playing in Atlanta, but still, you got to play Clemson first game out the gate is kind of tough. So I don't see them unscathed, if you will. I do maybe one loss, but they are set. They are stacked. They are set. They are ready to go. Like it is like, okay, we missed this. Plug and play. Plug and play. Plug and play. Plug and like, bruh, can we? Yeah, it's gonna be tougher for them, but I think like they gonna win. They could win it all. They got a bad taste in their mouth, you know. So I feel like they coming back with a vengeance. Yeah. So Georgia is number one on my radar right now. So. This is going to be brief. I mean, you know, there's not much sports news. Training camps is going on. I might do 11 through 15 next week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing fantasy football instead. But you guys decide. You know what? Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me, you know, hell no, Mizzou is too high. Hell no, Alabama's too low. Notre Dame should have been on the list. You know, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to tell me, like, comment, subscribe, and shout out again to Total Wine and Boulevard Brewing, man. I'm telling you, good brewing company, just period. So that is my 10. Like I said, if you think I'm crazy, I got Penn State, I got Michigan, I got Utah, I got Alabama, Ole Miss, I got Mizzou, Oregon, Ohio State, and Georgia. So, yeah, I can't say it. You know, I can't say it. Anyway, so again, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. You know, if you think that this week or that you think that this top 10 list needs to be shaken up, or who did I miss? Let me know. Peace. This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock.
I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. Any questions?